Flight boss, bitch. You know, for sure. You know, listen to the mind of an Terry's Moon. Flight boss, the Archangel Uriel, and Dolo here to carry out God duties and motherfucking responsibilities. And right now, we're going to talk about the motherfucking Matrix. Now, y'all know Archangel Uriel perspective is a little different, but, you know, we're going to break it down, expose certain things, and like look at the actual meaning, because I'm not the type of person to sit here and be like, okay, somebody created something for this sole purpose. People have many reasons to why they created something, and you know, we still have to look at people as people. We still have to look at individuals as individuals. When a bunch of individuals come together, it can mean something else, but at the same time, each individual have their own aspect, so we have to keep that in mind. And when we keep that in mind, that's when we start to realize, don't be attaching everything to right or wrong. Because you got your meanings and reasons as to why you do things, but you don't want nobody dissecting you 24 hours out of the day about what you're doing right and what you're doing wrong. Or you did this for this reason, you did this for that reason, you did this for this reason. You got a bunch of shit you just do for your own personal fucking reasons. And you don't want nobody dictating that all the fucking time, right? So you have to give certain entities out here that same benefit of the doubt. Now, when we talk about matrix, let's look at the word matrix in general. What's the definition of it? Here's the definition: an environment or material in which something develops a surrounding medium or structure. That sounds like something, right? An environment or material in which something develops a surrounding medium or structure. So that sounds a lot like your imagination, right? See, here's the second definition: a mode in which something such as printing, type, or phonograph record is cast or shaped. So this is where images, certain frames of realities is casted out or shaped. So you shape your imagination for you to experience it, right? So now we know we're talking about the yin realm. See, an environment or material, the things that environment is made out of, fluid, in some way, shape, or form, a higher dense of fluid, vibration. You see what I'm saying? And in which something develops. This is where circumstances and situations get developed at. For an example, you may be in a situation where you got a bunch of negative things on your mind. It's starting to take shape and form there. Then once it takes shape and form into your physical life, right, that medium or whatever like that surrounds you in some type of structure. So that's what the matrix is. So now they're giving you an idea that the matrix is like in your head. They're giving you an idea what the matrix is, or they're giving you an idea that it's a place or a location that may develop. You see, think it's going to develop. Same way you in an environment that you live in, and say that environment vibrate a certain way. You're going to end up developing yourself with the things of that environment. So if it's a negative environment, you develop yourself with negative attributes. If it's a positive environment, you develop yourself with. So you see what I'm saying? How it goes hand in hand. And how it can affect your imagination or your own personal self. But now we have to go a little deeper. So let's go into, see, because when you look at matrix, they separate the two words. So they're telling you where they got it from. So they got it from Ma-Trix. Now, before we get into anything, Ma'at. You see Ma'at in there, Mat. The M-A, then you see the T, the Ma'at. Now, Ma'at represents balance. Now, when we want to talk about balance and things of that nature, the ancients looked at it like this. See, you have a soul. Your soul is your vibration, your fluid, your time. Like the frequency, your gas, that'll be your spirit, your conscious. What came second is when it went into a realm of reality and became your soul. The spirit became your soul, your line of events, your timeline. You start to experience it. You see what I'm saying? You experience your time. And the soul gives movement, emotion, motion. And for you to fluidly move through a physical vessel when you actually go in one. Now, next is the energy. That's matter. You know what I'm saying? That's the physicality of it. Now, Ma'at is like, they always depicted her as like two wings and something that's dealing with balance. Now, back in the ancient days, they looked at everything and they looked towards the animals because the animals brought them these spirits. So they'd tie some emotional feeling that they had when they get in contact with an animal or something like that. So with Ma'at represents balance because the soul sits between and then Ma'at represents the feminine principle because the yin realm, the right brain, is the feminine principle. So the yin realm. So what happens here is that the feminine principle plays as a medium between the body and the physical. So you go, between the physical body and the spirit. So you can kind of look at the frequency as the male, the vibration as the female, and the energetic and the matter is the child that come out of it, the physical representation that comes out of it. So your soul sit in the middle, and all your soul is doing is experiencing. Then your soul is getting ideas and thoughts from your spirit, from wherever your spirit frequency came from, and then your body expresses this, and then your soul sits in the middle and experience. So it's almost like we could go back to the good cop, bad cop. Your body will be the bad cop, your spirit will be the good cop, and sometimes they work in vice versa. Sometimes your body will be the good cop, sometimes your spirit will be the bad cop. But your soul sits in between, and your soul is experiencing it all. For an example, you could be sitting back, right, and you emotionally feel a certain way. Now you got all these ideas to make you think this way, but you look and then you see you have to do this, that, and the third to even get that idea carried across. See, so your soul is experiencing that. Your soul is experiencing the vibrations and the feelings around that. But your spirit is the one that's giving you the ideas, and your body is the one that has to actually carry these things out. Your body is like a tool. So that's Ma'at. Ma'at represents the feminine principle of balance. And the feminine principle of balance is your soul, because your soul sits in between your vibrations, your emotions. And it sits between your physical body and your spiritual body. And your soul is the one experiencing all this. You see what I'm saying? This is why your soul and your feelings and emotions is the one that hold the memory. It's the one that hold the experience. It's the one that hold the future, present, and the past. It's the one that determine how you feel. It's the one that determine where you're going, your vibration. So now we got Ma'at out the way. We know Ma-Trix is dealing with Ma'at. So now we have to understand that you got Ma and you got Trix. So let's go to Ma. What's the definition of Ma? The definition of Ma is one's mother. So we know we in a womb. When you look up and you see dark space, you're in a black hole. So you got some scientists be like, nah, the black hole is in the middle of a... Look, you always going to be surrounding a bigger sun. The black hole, like Sagittarius A, that the scientists and astronomers trying to figure out, that's our galactic black hole. That's the one that's controlling our galaxy, our whole body. But what you fail to realize is it's in a verse. But you can't... It's hard for me to explain because y'all don't understand space within space. But everything is space within space. Everything has its own location in space. So as a totality, even our black hole is within a black hole. So when you look up, overall, we're in a big-ass massive black hole. You see what I'm saying? So we're in a big-ass massive womb. So when you look at Ma represents one's mother. So this will be everything that's in this big-ass cosmic womb, this big-ass black hole. That would be everybody's mother. So we say Ma. So when you look in the astral realm or the yin realm, and they want to say things like dark matter, antimatter, no. This is just the emotional feelings. This is just the vibration, the soul of the whole being we in. So we got Ma, and now let's go to Trix. What's Trix meaning? Now the Trix is a legal term, and check this out. Look at this. Forming feminine agent nouns corresponding to masculine nouns ending in tor. You know what I'm saying? You know what tor means, from high mountains, high rocks. And so it's ending in it's forming from feminine corresponding to the masculine and ending on a high mountain or high rock or high top, aka your temple, your mind, the top of your pyramid. And when the right brain, aka the feminine agent, right, start to imagine and then correspond with the masculine, aka your left brain, right, it start to logically understand what's going on. It's try to logically understand the imagination, logically correspond to the right brain, left brain corresponding to the right brain corresponding to the left brain, ending into a creation. That's what tricks mean. You see what I'm saying? Now, we could go to the word T-R-I-C-K, and I bet it means similar to the same thing. A cunning or skillful act to scheme, intended, or to deceive, or to outwit someone. So, when you have an imagination based upon what you logically see from someone else, this is where lies come from. You try to logically pretty up what's really there. So it's still the same thing. So when you look at Matrix, Ma-Trix. So it's your mother tricks. So it's your imagination playing tricks on you. So the basically the Matrix represents the yin realm playing tricks on you. Now when we talk about the actual Matrix, the Matrix in the movie is trying to predicate this towards they're trying to make this towards the left brain. So what's happening here is they're trying to tell you that you get lost and confused by Ma, your imagination, when you're in the left brain. So basically they're saying in the Matrix that people are using too much of the plug in the Matrix, that represents the left brain, because that's what you logically could see. Every time they went in the Matrix, what happened? That's what they consciously aware of. Neo went to work. Neo got on the computer. Leon said Neo had a job. So Neo wasn't realizing what was actually going on. He got his computer typing to him, "Wake up, Neo." You know what I'm saying? It's like, what the fuck? So it's something underlining going on, but he's not fully consciously aware of it. So that's letting you know that he's in the left brain, because he's good with computers. He have a job. He had a good job. So he's logically doing things. So that lets you know that that world is representing the yang realm, the external realm. The realm that we're plugged into. We're plugged into language. We're plugged into the computer. We're plugged in. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's all representing. Now, the Matrix, the Ma part, is the Matrix wasn't talking about what he was plugged into. The Matrix was talking about what he needed to plug, what he needed to unplug. He needed to unplug and understand the Matrix. See, that's where they fuck people up at. They try to say you need to understand that you are in the Matrix. But people left that movie thinking that they was talking about when he was plugged in. No, what Morpheus was talking about when he said you are in the Matrix, he's talking about you are really in the realm of imagination. You're really in the yin realm. And that realm is fucked up. And this realm right here, this ain't what it is. So you're really in the Matrix. And what you're seeing right now is fake. See, that's what people was thinking, that he was saying the Matrix is the left brain. The Matrix is the plug-in world. No, he's saying that, Neo, you always been in the Matrix. That's what he's trying to say. You're in the Matrix, right? And this plug-in right here is nothing but an illusion. It's left brain, illusion, the light. See what I'm saying? This is why it wasn't always sunny, but the light, the illusion you can see there when he was plugged in. But when he got unplugged, it was always mostly dark there. Yin Remish. You know what I'm saying? Because it was a dark place. That was a dark place. And he let you know that our dark place is fucked up. We need to come together and clean this shit up. So that's Matrix is Ma-Trix. The tricks that mothers play with you. I mean, the trick that your mom played with you. You come into your mom world and fight all her demons because you came out of her inner world. So all the inner emotional feelings and demons that your mother have, when you come out your mother, I don't care if you're a male or female or twins. When you come out your mother, you fighting all those demons in your physical life. All her inner demons come out physical just like you. So it don't matter the way, shape, or form it come, or the person, place, or thing, or location that come to you, right? Your outlook and perception of those shapes and forms is going to represent your mother's demons. Your mother's demons and her angels. But mostly her demons. Because you take on the emotional vibe. Your whole world consists of your mother's emotional vibrations. I don't care how old you is. Your whole life is you trying to get up out of that and create your own. Now, see, your mother can make you think that doing something wrong is actually right based upon the respect on your mother. And that's just externally. So when you go into your internal mother, which is your emotions and feelings and your soul and things of that nature, this is why religions and things of that nature try to make it seem like that is wrong. Because they try to say you could be misguided by your emotions and feelings. Your emotions and feelings could make you not understand things logically. But your emotions and feelings actually could push you to the truth a lot faster than what's logically in front of you. Because what's logically in front of you, 9 times out of 10, need a person who claim they logical in front of you to actually point you into the direction. And once you need a person, place, or thing to point you in some direction, you lose yourself in that person. And you always got your emotions and feelings. You always got mother. It's just you put that on someone else's responsibility when it's your responsibility. Same way like you are your mother's responsibility. With your own mother, you're supposed to keep that cycle going. So that's your elder mother. So you take care of your mother. You take care of your emotions and feelings. When your mother get old in the physical world, you take care of your mother. You see what I'm saying? So your inner mother is way older than you, eons older than you. You take care of that. Don't put that responsibility on some fucking preacher or some fucking logical person or this, that, and the third. So that's Ma-Trix, Matrix. When your mother played tricks on you, you know what I'm saying? You feel this way, and then but you're logically seeing something else, and then it's like the Matrix itself is the trick. So you have Ma, and then you have Trix. See what I'm saying? So the tricks is dealing with your mother, but your mother may not necessarily be the one casting out the tricks. It's just Ma-Trix and Matrix. Matriarch. Ma. Mate. You know what I'm saying? Magic. That's magic. Ma-Trix. So, you know, it's anytime the feminine, your mother side of you, right? And then you being lost in the logical aspect of it. So that's you being in the Matrix and not understanding you're in the Matrix. Fools! and shout the brother Sanchez. You fools! All right, now let's go a little deeper. All right, so now we know. Now, since we are in the Matrix, that's what it's trying to tell us. We're in Ma. The tricks that's in Ma. Now you have agents in there. You see what I'm saying? So you have certain agents. Now certain agents is people who like to use too much of the left brain in the Matrix, in Ma. So these people like to use these people are aware of the imagination that we can create, but they take this imagination, they take the way we know how to create, they take that power and create an illusion around it based upon language, law, you know what I'm saying? Words. Just look at everything that the Agent Smiths did. You see what I'm saying? It's correlated, and then you could correlate it to real life. This is an agent. Anyone who takes our imagination and try to logically define it, label it, put titles on it. Now you have a title. You can't even do nothing in Ma anymore without having some type of title that you had to learn. See that L word? By these motherfucking lizards that we live in. See what I'm saying? This shit goes so deep. That's why I need y'all to understand we live in that reptilian being. Draco is us. We in Draco. Draco is a being. Y'all motherfuckers need to understand this shit. Now, when we as far as the Matrix, this is what an agent is. An agent is someone who takes the imagination and try to utilize it for themselves. See what I'm saying? So that's what an agent is. So now you're gonna really realize how deep this agent shit goes, because now you even gotta think like, damn, is the motherfucking architect an agent then? The nigga that Neo went to go meet, I think in the second one, when after he had to find the key maker to open the door, and the motherfucking architect was telling Neo why he made this shit. See, that could have been just the motherfucking highest agent, because he taking an illusion and making someone think about it the way he want them to think about it. So that's like an agent. You may have agents around you every day, right? You may just be like, man, this don't feel right doing. You may have church agents, you may have police agents, you may have concept agents, all kind of agents everywhere. Religious agents, philosophy agents, scientific agents. You just feel like Ma's coming to you in their emotions and feelings through your soul, just trying to make you feel like you know this ain't right. But what's logically put in front of you make you think that it's right, make you think that this is fact, make you think this is the way things are, make you think this is the illusion. And then they logically put titles and things on it and things of that nature. You see what I'm saying? And then now you are enticed of thinking that this is the right thing to do regardless of how you're supposed to feel about it. You see what I'm saying? Religious people do this all the time. They say, oh, don't mix your feelings, just take the word. You know what I'm saying? Scientists do the same thing. Oh, I don't care if you feel this is wrong. This is the logical mathematics of it. So, you know, we have to understand how to, that, what's the purpose of the matrix. When you looking at something, you have to look at something like, okay, this is what you're in. This is how you understand reflection and things of that nature. How you know you live backwards. You always living for a reflection. You're automatically trained to live backwards for some strange reason. This is why we got mirrors. Like when you write something, you're writing it backwards, thinking you're writing it the right way. But you're writing it for the sake of it being reflected onto others. So you're writing it basically backwards to yourself, because you don't care about yourself. You only care how it appears to be. When you talk about imagination, imagination is something you're supposed to project, not receive. Y'all done got lost in receiving, and y'all living backwards. When you writing on paper right now, you're writing that paper for you to see it. You're automatically writing it backwards then. Because if you was to turn that piece of paper around, right, that you just wrote on, and you want other people to read it off you, it's going to appear backwards. You see what I'm saying? You're turning it around. So you're trying to, it's like you're projecting something you was projected onto yourself. And you lose yourself in that fragment of mirror and lighting. To the point that this is one of the creation of how things become physical. But that's another video. I'm not going to get into that right now because I want to talk about the Matrix. Now, you know, that's what basically what an agent is. An agent is someone who try to logically take the land space of the imagination realm, of the yin realm, of the ma realm. You know what I'm saying? They try to own that space. So be careful, y'all, because when y'all paying y'all bills and y'all end up having a motherfucking air bill, you paying $25 a month for air, you gotta be motherfucking careful. That ain't that motherfucking far away. It ain't too long before we end up having a war or some excuse to put some shit in the air. And don't nothing be wrong with the air, but they create these pipes and shit like that to clear the air, and they have to do it in each city sector. So I guess the city gonna end up having to pay for that shit, the economy. So your ass gonna end up having a $25 a month air bill to pay for motherfucking air now. Watch, the society know how to work things like that. They know how to work. As soon as y'all start detaching from other shit and start realizing y'all don't need to buy and pay for that shit, they're gonna put y'all into another matrix, another trick in Ma. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna make y'all think that y'all have to pay for this then. Oh, y'all realize y'all ain't have to pay for this no more? Well, we're gonna create something else for y'all to pay for. Same way with people, they stopped giving a fuck about paper money. Then they went to credit cards and things of that nature. People stopped giving a fuck about that. Now y'all motherfuckers got cryptocurrency. See, listen, man, all this shit is a trick in Ma. So you need to understand that right now. All this is people playing agents, people creating tricks and mind games with the overall mind energy itself. The imagination realm. You know you're supposed to create your own imagination. So when you got people who are logically taking that space in your mind, you got people logically creating your imagination for you. Your ass in the motherfucking matrix. But your ass don't realize you in the matrix. So your ass is just involved in all the goddamn tricks that got something to do with Ma. Get your emotions and feelings, your moon together. That's why it's important to know your moon sign. Because a lot of people who don't like astrology, right? They don't care about their moon sign. So they automatically letting everybody else control their emotions and feelings. They don't even know where their emotions and feelings is at. So how they gonna dictate their own emotions and feelings? All their emotions and feelings come from something outside of them. Something happening in the world. Something happening outside, externally. You know what I'm saying? They don't know how to control their own emotions and feelings. So when they die, you know where they gonna go? They gonna go straight to somebody else's world. Straight to someone else's creation. Straight to someone else's imagination. And they're going to live there. And what you doing now is what you always been doing. So goddamn it, these motherfuckers is living in someone else's imagination now. And they still carrying out these duties and obligations. Motherfucker. Now, we're going to get into, that's what I wanted to break down about the motherfucking agents. In the motherfucking matrix. So you might be around an agent right now. You might be around somebody like, look, man, I just feel this way. I feel that way. They're going to have all the logic in the world to try to make you feel another way. That's an agent. And whatever way they try to make you feel, right, Search that in the yin realm. Go see what intellectual property ruled that. What being put that in the world first. And I bet you it's a motherfucker, something off a news channel or something off the goddamn computer that a motherfucker didn't learn from somewhere else. From a fucking science book or something like that. Right? You got this certain emotion and feeling. They got this logical term of your emotion and feeling. Don't listen to motherfuckers like that. That's agents. Can't nobody tell you why you feel that way. That's why a lot of y'all motherfuckers subscribing to motherfucking health issues now. You got ADHD. You got motherfucking bipolar. You got motherfucking schizophrenia. Nigga, you ain't got shit. Your ass got a mind problem. That's what you got. And your ass is in the tricks and going through all the motherfucking trips and hula hoops and Ma, when you could use Ma for your own goddamn shit. Create your own tricks. See what I'm saying? Use your own logic. But yeah, that's what I want to say about the motherfucking agents. Alright, now I want to talk about Morpheus too. Because everybody think, see, it's always a good side, bad side thing when we talk about movies. I want to make this very clear. Anytime we're talking about a movie that's a superhero movie or things of that nature, when we talk about there's a good ending or bad ending, it's important to always gear your consciousness towards the villain. It's important to gear your consciousness towards the bad ending. Because, see, when we talk about things being heroes and things being good endings, this is ain't nothing but another way, shape, or form of try to get you into fairy tales and try to get you into understanding an outlook and understanding how things supposed to be, understanding an illusion and when you have a creator of something, that means it's coming from their perspective. So we know these movies and these shows ain't coming from an overall creator. It is coming from their piece and perspective of the overall creation. So you have to take it with a grain of salt. You have to understand that it's more truth into the negative or into the villain. This is why people who grew up in negative lives, right, understand more of life than someone who grew up sheltered. Because through the negative, through the dark, through the bad aspects is the actual truth. Because it had to be a negative aspect first for it to be a positive aspect. There had to be friction for something to come out of that friction. And friction in any realm of reality, friction always perceived as yin, negative, the feminine trait, which is dealing with hurt or a resistance, or you see what I'm saying? If everything was just agreeable and balanced to begin with, there would be no shift and there would be no shift to begin with. So people have to understand these things, and that shift take different ways, shapes, and forms in many different dimensions, and dimensions I can't even really speak about. So to correlate it to bad or good and how it's representing itself down here will be doing it a disjustice. So this is why I said it's more truth than going into the dark. But you have a situation where you can't really necessarily pick sides. So when we make the good and evil, the dark and the light, when we make light is not even opposite to darkness. You see what I'm saying? Light come out of darkness. But so they're not opposites. They're not opposites. So, but when we start to tie certain titles onto things, like when we say no, light is good, darkness is bad, we already at fault, because the whole mind frame that we're going to build around that is going to be based upon that, when that original thing to begin with is not right. Light is not opposite to darkness to begin with. So all the analogies of light is good, dark is evil, we need to get the light, we need to get out, all these analogies is going to be wrong because the initial premise of it is wrong. You see what I'm saying? So that brings a good segue into Morpheus. Because I'm trying to get y'all to understand that Morpheus wasn't shit either. Morpheus wasn't nothing but an agent on the opposite end. So Morpheus was a fucking vampire. Morpheus was nothing but a motherfucking vampire. And he didn't lead Neo on a purposeless mission also. You see what I'm saying? You have to watch anybody with an agenda. agenda. What's the key word in agenda? Agent. AGEN. You see what I'm saying? So anybody with an agenda is a motherfucking agent. I don't give a fuck who they is. When I tell you, man, I don't give a fuck about shit. Only thing I give a fuck about is making videos like this. That let y'all know I don't have no agenda. You see what I'm saying? And if you was to tie that agenda to me, the agenda is in good nature. Is in positive energy. Because it's not backed and supported by anything, by no illusion. I'm not doing this for money. You don't even get no money for doing this shit. I'm not doing this shit for attention. I'm doing this for the sake of just my spirit. So if you want to tie the agenda, that word has to fade. Once you keep trying to tie it to something, it has to fade after a while. So anyone who has an agenda is a motherfucking agent. But you have motherfucking different versions of agents. Morpheus is on the opposite end of that. So let's look up the motherfucking definition of Morpheus. Let's see what kind of agent this motherfucking is. Morpheus, a Roman god. These Romans fake it at that, but let's see what it represents. What's the energy doing? It's a god of sleep and dreams. So that's already dealing with Ma, the Matrix, the yin realm. So Morpheus is a motherfucker that's already in the yin realm. See what I'm saying? And the agent, the motherfucking agent, forgot his name, but the agent's in the fucking Matrix. These motherfuckers is already in the yang realm. So these are agents in the yang realm, and Morpheus is a motherfucking agent in the yin realm. See, someone who is in the arms of Morpheus is asleep. So Neo was in the arms of Morpheus. He was in the control of Morpheus. He was up under Morpheus. Morpheus was guiding him. Morpheus is the one who came to him. So Morpheus came to him in his sleep, in his imagination, and woke him up in his imagination, made him consciously aware of his dreams, of the dream world, the imagination world, the world that Neo wasn't consciously aware of. He thought he was just sleeping. He didn't know that was the actual world. So once he got in the arms of Morpheus, right? He went deeper into the rabbit hole. He went deeper into the sleep world, right? But see, here's when we're going to get into the situation where it's beings out here that force you to make you pick one evil, then make you pick one evil other than the other. You're just picking the lesser evil, but you're having to pick a choice. See, and this is what Morpheus did. Now, as motherfucking Neo just experiencing. So he got agents that's trying to take him into the left brain, take him into the, you know what I'm saying, take him into the physical, or what appeared to be physical. See, what you think is physical is not really physical. It's just matter conjuncting each other together. And then he had Morpheus. Morpheus tried to take him into the non-physical, into what was unrealistic to Neo, what was actually the real world. See, that's what they're trying to tell you. So Morpheus Morpheus wasn't nothing but a motherfucking vampire. Because he took what Neo, he took emotions and feelings. What is a vampire? A vampire is someone who drain you emotionally and use your emotions and feelings against you. You know what I'm saying? Make you feel responsible. Make you feel like you have to be responsible. For them. Make you feel like you have to care about something more than you really have to. These are vampires, and they'll drain you. They get all your emotions out of you to the point that you don't even want to feel anymore. You be emotionally sucked dry. So that's what the fuck Morpheus was. Morpheus was a motherfucking vampire. And he used the yin world, the yin realm, to suck Neo in. So it's like so he made Neo realize this world, which was a good thing. But now he's gonna make Neo choose. See? He has an agenda for his own purpose. So he's a fucking vampire, he's a fucking agent too. When we get into the fucking red and blue pill, right? Now, here's my fucking thing. Here's my thing. Here's my motherfucking thing, right? Why the fuck I have to choose? Now, you done brought me this motherfucking far. Now, I understand this portion. I understand this portion. Now, in order to go deeper in the rabbit hole, why the fuck do I have to take a motherfucking pill? See, the Matrix was setting people up. All these motherfucking medicated pills out here nowadays is all these kids and shit going into the motherfucking rabbit hole and not being able to find themselves back into the logic realm, into the yang realm. So they get lost into their own world. And when they don't have that pill anymore, they don't even know how to fucking conduct themselves. So we're in a situation right now where this is where we understand who the fuck Morpheus is. And Morpheus ain't too fucking bright either. See what I'm saying? Morpheus is a person who's completely lost in the right brain. Agents is people completely lost in the left brain. See, but the agents was trying to understand the right brain. Morpheus trying to understand the left brain. But at the same time, both of them are lost in those realms. The agents is lost, Morpheus is lost. And both of them are fighting for Neo. Fighting for the one, which is you, the individual. Fighting for the balance. Neo represented the balance. That's what people don't understand. You, the one, you represent the balance. You represent the balance. Now, you are the physical representation of Ma. You're inside Ma. You represent you balance her out. Now, see, look, this is what Morpheus is getting fucked up by making Neo choose. Now, why did Neo have to choose between two motherfucking pills? Why he had to choose the left brain or the right brain? Because that's what the pills is representing. See what I'm saying? Now, that was mistake number one that Neo did. He wasn't supposed to be in a situation where he's choosing between the right and the left brain. Alright, now I would play it, but I don't want to get no copyright issues. So, everybody got internet. I want y'all to stop this video and go to the pill scene. Go to the pill scene of the Matrix. The first Matrix. And go to the pill scene. And listen very carefully, because you got a lot of conscious brothers out here who get it fucked up. And everybody who decoded the Matrix talked about the Matrix in this way. They made it seem like the Matrix is talking about the world that Neo was in before he got unplugged. No. Morpheus explains very clearly what the Matrix is. He say the Matrix is everything around you. Everything around you. You see what I'm saying? And then he tell you that you want to know what the Matrix is? And then when he give Neo the choice to understand what the Matrix is, it was Neo waking up. And when Neo woke up, he woke up in that motherfucking egg thing. You see what I'm saying? And saw what the shit really was. So the Matrix is understanding the trick. The Matrix ain't the illusion itself. You see what I'm saying? I know it get kind of hard explaining it. It's kind of tricky. But even the director didn't even understand this. But that's what it is. Once you break down the wording and what the director was actually trying to say, based upon them trying to filter through their illusion that they was filtering through, based upon words and language. But this is what they was actually trying to say. He said, he was like, Neo, you know what I'm saying? Do you want to know what the Matrix is? And then he showed Neo the Matrix. And when he showed Neo the Matrix, it was fucking Zion. It wasn't the fucking illusion world that he had to go through the Yang. He had to go through the illusion world to get to Neo. He had to come through Neo through his dreams, through his computer, and things of that nature to show Neo what the Matrix was. And what the Matrix was is the shit that Neo was in. He was in Ma. And he's just trying to tell Neo that you are in, but all you've been seeing was the illusion. I'm going to show you the real world. The real world was the Matrix. And in the real world, you got intellectual beings out here, robots and shit like that, determining your illusion, determining your imagination for you, determining your world for you. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, you know, Neo, he wanted to know what the Matrix was about. So, you know, Morpheus was like, all right, well, let's wake this nigga up then. We about to wake this nigga up. So you got awoken in your dream. Because when he got woke up, what happened? He woke up, literally. He woke up and seen where he was really at. So now he took the form of his higher vessel. His higher vessel was sleep, was slumber. It's like he just woke up in his star body. He got consciously aware. And all Morpheus did was speed up the process of his conscious 360. You could go to my video and understand how to do a conscious 360. So how you know how to ascend. But as Neo ascended, he ascended and realized that he was in some more bullshit. You know what I'm saying? This is why I be talking about look at the sun and all that shit. So y'all can really understand. Neo woke up to his higher body, to his higher star body, and realized that world is even more fucked up than the world he was in. So, being in a world under law and government, under a system and things of that nature, didn't seem so bad. But he was under authority because the imagination he was living was up under someone else's imagination. Now that he got risen into a higher conscious and awoke in his higher body, his body that's big, the body that's outside of the body that he was just within, now he's able to see the totality of the life and see where the real power is. And see that the things is that much stronger there. You see what I'm saying? That's why y'all gotta be careful. Look at my video. I be always telling y'all that train your subconscious, because that's you training your next vessel. So when you go into your bigger vessel, right? Because some of y'all ain't gonna have no choice but to ascend because you've been here too many times and did too many experiences. So if you still dumb, you gonna go into a bigger vessel, but you're just gonna be a dumb person there. Creating things more, you got more creation at your access. But if you're a dumb person, you're just gonna create more dumb shit. Create more of a hell for yourself. So that's what the situation was going on. And when we look at Neo being awoken to his higher body, which is the real world, Morpheus woke him up. But see, it's like they need him for balance almost, because it's too harsh. And in that world, it takes way more to gain power and control than the Yang realm, because the Yang world things is physical. You see what I'm saying? So it's almost like in that world you could just go by and be a abiding law citizen or things of that nature and kind of create based upon other people's imagination. But when you go into your higher vessel where the real power at, everything is happening more literal. That's what I be saying. Like if you think you worship something down here, when you go up there, all that is attached to you. So as a vessel, you really gonna be worshiping. It's gonna be that much harder to actually worship. That's what I'm saying. Y'all better. You think you being negative down here, you really gonna be in some type of negative situation up there. So this is what they're trying to get you to understand. And this is what I'm trying to get you to understand. So at the same time, Morpheus, but nothing but a fucking vampire, and the agents wasn't motherfucking nothing but agents. In the left brain. So, Neo had to play this and balance this out the best way he possibly can. It's already open. So, Neo, sorry about that, but look, Neo was already motherfucking the balance. And they was trying to make him become the balance in some way, shape, or form through the world. You know what I'm saying? Through the eyes of Neo was the balance. You was able to see too much of the yin realm, and you was able to see too much of the yang realm. And then throughout the whole matrix, you see how he blended them in together. Neo was the balance. You know what I'm saying? Neo was God. Neo was the one, was the individual. And Morpheus played as the totality of the yin realm, and the agents play as the totality of the yang realm. And then the Neo story is your story. It's your story. You're going to have certain beings come to you in the yin realm that try to wake you up That's when you be like, damn, nah, I don't feel this way. I just sense something bigger. Boom, that's beings coming to you in the yin realm. And you're going to have all kind of beings coming to you in the yang realm, which is this motherfucking external realm. Saying this external realm. And your soul is experiencing both realms. And both realms is controlled by the overall frequency, the overall spirit realm. You see what I'm saying? But to be an individual, you have to have a soul, which is your soul, your experience, your time. So, a lot of times your soul has to fight between the frequency and the physical. Now, the frequency is the spirit. But when we want to talk about the yin and the yang realm, this is like the internal and the external realm. So the internal has a frequency, vibration, and an energy just as much as the external. The internal have 3 realms, same way as the external has 3 realms. But when we're talking about as the internal and the external, we could talk about the left brain and the right brain. The internal will represent the right brain. The external will represent the left brain. And as a soul, you sit in between both of them. It's like your soul. You are the balance, the individual. You are the Neo. You are the balance between the external and the internal. And you're going to have a lot of beings come to you in the internal realm with their frequency, vibration, energy, energetic forces. And you're going to have a lot of beings coming to you in the external realm with their frequency, vibration, energies. See what I'm saying? So you are Neo. The whole Neo story was an outlook of you. And everything that took place in Zion when they was unplugged is things that occur in the yin realm. And everything that took place in the in the illusion, which when he was plugged in, that's what you're consciously aware of. You know what I'm saying? That's the logical aspect of it. You see what I'm saying? That's the external aspect of it. And then that story in general is what creates the Matrix. That's the Matrix. Both of these stories together is the Matrix. Understanding that you're in the yin and the yang realm, period, is the Matrix. Letting you know you in Ma, but Ma has tricks. There's a bunch of tricks going on within Ma. So that's what the Matrix is. And you are in it. And you have to balance it out. You are the balance. So the better you know how to balance between the right and the left brain, know how to balance and fight the beings in your right brain in the internal realm, and know how to balance and fight against the beings in your left brain, the external realm, the better you become that Neo, the one, that spark, that light. And that's the fucking Ma-Trix. Flight bus, bitch, goddamn air.